Wings on my back, stay lit like a matchstick. We ain't coming back, I swear. Just let go and see what happens. Gotta let go to see the magic happen. They got us a quick change, so we like them in face. I'll just buy a new watch, time to make my wrist ring. The zero gravity keeps elevating me. The zero gravity, they got us a quick change, so we like them in face. I'll just buy a new watch, time to make my wrist ring. The zero gravity keeps elevating me. Born in the darkness, fight for the light. If this ever die, I'ma fight for my life. Keep fighting on, I keep fighting on. We keep moving up, you can't hold us up. So I am up above the clouds. So I can't see the ground. So I ain't coming down. So no, I ain't ever coming down. Rise up from the ashes, wings on my back, stay lit like a matchstick. We ain't coming back, I swear. Just let go and see what happens. Gotta let go to see the magic happen. They got us a quick change, so we like them in face. I'll just buy a new watch, time to make my wrist.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another AFR broadcast. I'm Kunai0, and today we bring you round 5 of the Tier 1 Season 7 Championship here at AFR from the lovely Montreal in Canada, circa Gilles Villeneuve. A great circa 4.3 kilometers long, 14 turns. Tells us that there's a 0% safety car chance. For some reason, I don't believe that, but we will see as the race develops tonight. It's a track that's given us actually quite a lot of moments here in the AFR seasons. Here we go, Season 5, Turn 1. Torrential rain conditions. Potsy tries to go up on the inside of Turn 1. Doesn't quite make it. Gets hit a little bit and spins. That seems to be a very common occurrence between some of the drivers. A little bit of a repeat, but it goes on a little bit longer as Feber is the one that's challenging Mikau on the inside there for driving for McLaren. And then as they come down to the next turn, unfortunately, Feber's the one that gets hit and rotates around. This complex of corner seems to be something that is a bit of an occurrence, as we'll see a couple of more. So turns 3 to 7, this entire complex. This is an interesting one. So Bandcamp is behind Flyboy here. Flyboy touches the wall, and that gives the Renault a nice needed jump to the front. And he gets past all of the chaos that ends up ensuing at the back there. 5 cars all bunched up together on the run down towards the second sector. I believe this is from a different perspective. So this is Flyboy's perspective throughout the entire thing. Is again the entire group of cars that just make their way. This is something that you probably normally wouldn't see, but the video game affords us the luxury of, and as everyone manages to make it through. And the Season 5 highlight in Turn 6, just getting a bit sideways there. And then he gets punted by his teammate, no less. Breaks the side panel there. Ends up having to recover. Season 4, Mikhail Wahid, Turn 9. Ended up going just a bit too hard. Manages to get back on track relatively easy, though. Yeah, turns 12 and 13. You're going to see a lot of action through here. The Wall of Champions chicane. And as you can see, a ton of debris shooting there. One of the biggest problems with that sector, or that section I should say, is people going into the pits and maybe slowing down a little bit too early, which can cause some problems. As we see Seb accidentally punting himself into the wall. All right, so just waiting for the drivers to get themselves ready. So what we'll do is let's we'll wait a couple of moments just for them to get ready. With me tonight, bringing you commentary will be Gus Rules. I believe he has just stepped out, so we'll wait for him to. Oh no, there he is. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
All right, so let's have a quick recap of the standings. Let's see if I've got this working correctly. I should. So let's have a quick look at the driver standings as they are. We are 4 rounds in. With race, of course, this is the 5th round. So Potsy up on top there with 86 points for Red Bull. Fever close behind, 69 points. He's moved up as a position from last. Mikau has dropped one down to 61 points. Artanis for 39. Big Al with 23. Hero jumping up 4 positions there with a total of 23 points. Now Geordie in 7th, 19. T-Mac with 15 points. Baitmate with tying that with 15 as well. And Panda rounding out that top 10 with 13 points, who jumped up 6 positions since the last race. And then having a look at the Constructor Championship, this is how things stand with Red Bull 98 points on the board. Williams very close behind with 92. AlphaTauri with 74. Aston Martin with 49 points. Mercedes with 38. Alpine with 19. Haas with 15. McLaren with 12. Alfa Romeo with 6. And Ferrari at the bottom with 4. All right, so we still got to wait a couple of moments for everybody to get ready. So, Gus, what are your thoughts? What are your expectations going into this round?
I reckon, again, we're going to see some pretty quick times from the top of the lobby. I reckon we're going to get into the 107s. Would not be surprised if we see the likes of Hero and Fever doing that again. I was actually joking before the race with Mikau. He hasn't had an incident-free Canada Grand Prix at AFR since he joined, so hopefully he has a nice clean one. But given how competitive it is at the pointy end of that grid, I would not be surprised if we see some fireworks, particularly if there's a safety car or 2.
Okay, well, monitor that, see what happens. I don't know about this one. So Canada, like I said before, Canada always gives us some good racing. The official stats say 0% chance of safety car. I don't know if I believe that.
Well, the stats are actually based on all the seasons we've done so far, so I was quite surprised when I saw that. We've not had a full safety car in AFR Tier 1 since it started. We have had quite a few in Tier 2, and we had a couple in Tier 3 this evening, just before this stream. But yeah, apparently VSCs are the only thing we've seen in Tier 1 so far, but with how easily they come out in the game, I would not be surprised if we see a safety car or 2, especially with sim damage on this even.
Yeah, we'll probably F1 2021 throws a curveball in that respect. I don't doubt that at all. Thank you for the follow, Jacko, and also thank you for the gifted subkeeper. Much appreciated. Love to see stuff getting thrown around in chat. That's beautiful. Hopefully, just tell us all what your thoughts are going into this. I want to see some interaction here. Hopefully, we can get a prediction going as well. That seems to be a lot of fun. I'm just wondering, do we have a full grid for tonight?
We should do.
I think
Flyboy's running a little bit late, which is why there's a bit of a hold up at the moment, but yeah, we should have a full grid.
Awesome. It'd be good to see 20 cars running themselves around this track. Fun fact, there's only 4 named sections of the track in here, which is the Wall of Champions, Virage Center, which is turn 2, Le Pinguel, which is the hairpin at turn 10, and then the Casino Straight, which is of course the back straight on the way to the Wall of Champions. So not a lot for me to have to remember. I just have to remember turn numbers, which I wish the Formula 1 track map in the game would have. Because they could just... This is actually one of the things that baffle me about game design with Codemasters, right? Like, you have all the assets ready-made. You just pull them from the broadcast. Like, it's the same font. It's the same... Like, they have them there. You partnered with them. You might as well just grab them, and you don't. You make your own stuff, and then just leave out so much crap. I don't understand why that's the case. And we just have everyone... I'm sure everyone in chat as well, those of us who play the games religiously, you just, every year, you're like, oh, it's going to be better. It's going to be the best one yet. And then it just isn't, right? It's like, it's good. I quite enjoy 2021. I think they've done a lot of improvements from the older games. But, like, if you have a license from Formula 1, you would expect that there's money there. So, I don't know, man. I feel like it could be better. But, I want to look at the grass on the other side of the fence. EA has now come in. There's going to be an injection of funding there. Codemasters have just picked up the license for WRC, which will start in 2025. And that I am excited for, because Dirt Rally is easily one of the best rally games, if not the best rally game you can get your hands on at the moment. So I'm keen to see what they do with that franchise. But I'm just hoping, as a diehard F1 fan, I just want that game. I'm spoiled by games like Assetto Corsa, and I'm spoiled by games by iRacing with their handling models, and I don't expect that. But what I think Codemasters can deliver on is the Formula One feel, the broadcast feel, like making it feel like an actual Formula One race. That's what I want.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful that with EA picking it up, that means that... Oh, my controls are disconnected. That they might turn it into a live service game, like just release F1, some generic name next year, and then just release the new cars every season, like they kind of did with Formula 2. And then that way, we just buy the one game. If people want to go and buy fancy liveries or fancy helmets or, reacts when they get a podium, go nuts. That can be where EA makes their money. But I think that's kind of the problem with the games, is that they don't quite have enough time in their development cycle to really, iron out all these bugs that keep reoccurring every single release. So ideally, that's what I want to see happen. Them just, decide that this game is going to be the last game they release under Codemasters, and it's going to be live service. We're going to keep releasing new content for it every year, maybe update a few things each year just to get, some graphics ironed out if they want to do, a little bit of an upgrade. But yeah, I think they really need to stop this 12-month release cycle, because it's not working for them. They just it never quite gets to be a perfect game.
Yeah, no, I follow you. Pro Evolution Soccer went that route. They've stopped making. Konami will no longer release that, and instead they'll release. It's a weird name. It's called eFootball, but it will be a live service and updated regularly. And some people have been calling for FIFA to do a similar model. So it's an interesting idea, but I don't know, because then you lose out on yearly sales, and I'm not sure if they want that.
That's it, because what percentage of their user base are going to be
exactly,
dropping
which is a
coin
shame
on some liveries.
Exactly, which is a shame, because we all know as diehard fans that if we could have a service game that gets improved year on year and gets updated with the seasons, and then you can have classic things that come back, and it would be fantastic. But a little bit of a pipe dream at the moment, but we'll see how the series develops. In any case, we've talked on for long enough. We should probably get things underway. I believe the lobby is just about ready.
We may actually be having a new lobby. Looks like there was a bug with that one. So apparently there were too many spectators. So just
too many spectators.
Yeah, apparently people couldn't join, and
there's only 19 people in the session. Is that correct?
Yeah, I believe there should be 20.
I only see 19.
Yeah, people are leaving.
Okay, so a little bit of technical difficulties. We'll stay on the static screen longer. For those of you in the chat, put in your thoughts. If you have any questions, chuck them in as well. Our community here, that's what we like to do. See if Bunching lobby's broken yet. All right, no worries. We'll fix that. Thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Now, as long as they don't spread themselves too thin. Yeah, well, okay, that's obviously a worry when you're talking about development in that sense. I don't think that's going to be a problem. I think Codemasters are in a very good position where they actually have the manpower dedicate. I've seen a couple of dev diaries, and obviously you have to take things at face value, but they have good resources. They're not just like a backshed company making a racing game. Once upon a time they were 100%, but not anymore. Not anymore. So I definitely think that they can do the right thing. But like I said, I come from the perspective. I play a lot of iRacing. I play a fair amount of Assetto Corsa, and you feel a little let down with the handling models. Just in the sense where it could be better, but at the same time you do have to understand that this is definitely a game that can be catered to the more casual audience, and I do not agree with alienating that casual audience, because F1 is for everybody. Right? You can be a very basic motorsport fan, you can be a diehard motorsport fan. It doesn't matter. That's the benefit of F1. Some people like the cars. Some people just don't even care about the cars, and they actually just resonate with a particular driver. That's fine too. So the larger the audience that it can gather, the better it is for F1, and I understand that. It's just, give me spectator options. If there's one thing, just give me more spectator options. I try my best to deliver a good experience for those people who love us and watch us, and you're making it hard. Stop making it hard.
Speaking of lobbies, the new one is up, so you
Okay,
should
so I
have an
should be
invite
able
your
to
way.
jump in now.
We're just waiting for one more driver as well to jump in.
Okay, that's me in there. ACC spectator is the best. I'm not going to disagree with you 100%. I'm not going to disagree with you 100% because I do agree that there are very powerful options, especially if you download the community-made tools for that. There's a really good one. It escapes me at the moment, but there's a really good one that'll actually tap in via telemetry and allow you to control all of the aspects. That is brilliant, and I think they did really well with that. There are other problems with ACC, which is its engine can sometimes bug out with the HUD. So the game treats the spectator as a driver. So the HUD, the driving HUD, is the same for a spectator as it is for a driver. And if the engine bugs out, you won't get the proper spectator HUD. You'll actually get the driver HUD. So it just looks really whack. That may have been fixed recently. I'm not sure. I haven't played around with that in a while. But that was one of my biggest gripes, which was with Formula One, you have a dedicated spectator view and a spectator UI, which really should be customizable, but isn't for whatever reason. And with ACC, it actually uses the driver HUD. So the overlays just be in a weird place when you're spectating the others. Yeah, they may have fixed it. They may have well fixed it. And if that's the case, then that's awesome. But if I had that kind of camera control in Formula One, oh man, that'd be it. If I could have the iRacing camera control in Formula One 2021, let's switch over as we are.
What did I say? Wet to dry. Wet to dry.
And we'll just take a look at this. It's raining, so that may not be a favorable
dry
restart.
race apparently. So
that may not be a favorable restart for the guys, but anyway,
just intermediate conditions though, so not too bad. Guys, make sure you chuck in a prediction. We've got one up. Will Hero put it on poll? Obviously, we did it on the assumption that it was going to be a dry quali, but I guess anything could happen here. Make sure you get your predictions in, and I'll be open for a few more minutes.
All right, so 18 minutes on the clock. We're now down to 17 and 10 seconds. So let's see how we go. I've just got to fix up this here and just make sure that I've got things. Yes, I do. Apologies for that. Okay. So we can see a bunch of cars making their way around the track now. I believe it's one of the Williams.
We got a Trin has spun already in the pit exit. He's spun out of the pit lane onto the racing line. from the actual pit line on the exit, he's lit it up from there and he's spun back into the track because the pit exit here at Canada actually bypasses turn 1 and feeds into the exit of turn 2. But he has spun out of the pit exit across to before turn 1 on the actual racetrack. So it's done well to get there.
Is he going to get a penalty for that? Because he would have crossed.
I'll have a quick look. I don't think so. Let's have a look. He got a warning for crossing the pit lane exit white line, so he's all good. But Michael Massey has just been sent an email from himself.
All right, we'll jump on with Hero, who's of course the star of our channel prediction. Those of you wondering if he'll put it on poll or not, well, let's jump on board with a flying lap from the Williams driver and see just what he can do around Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. There we go.
I got no sound, Kunai. You might have an issue on your end.
This is going to be one of those Alt-Tab moments, isn't it? No, it's not. Interesting. Okay, let's see what we can do here.
In the meantime...
hold on.
Actually, it's a gearbox glitch, so...
That's weird. That should be coming through. But isn't. Why is that the case? There we go. Okay. I'm not sure why that happened. Apologies. Didn't even change anything. That just doesn't make any sense. But anyway. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, but... Okay. So Hero, we missed all of that, but he's coming towards the end of his lap. We'll see what the times are as they cross the line. So Geordie with a 1:19.2, Sandeezy with a 1:18.9, and Hero with a 1:18.23. That is provisional pole as of right now. Panda comes across there, 1:18.5, manages to put it in second place. For those of you watching, is the volume of the game too low? Is it okay? Does it need to be higher? From what I can see, everything seems fine, but seems to be a problem coming through on the other side. So you guys can let me know, that'd be great. Volume seems good. Awesome. That's what. Oh, hold on a minute.
Flyboy has just been disqualified for blocking the pit exit. I reckon he's been sitting in the pit exit lane waiting for traffic to go past, and the game has disqualified him.
So we
I think sometimes it doesn't give you a warning before it happens either.
We had an issue. I believe Lights had this issue in Tier 3. He was given a 5-place grid penalty because I believe he was waiting for people to go out, stayed in the pit lane too long, and then was given an illegal blocking. But he didn't get disqualified. He was simply given a 5-place penalty, and I believe it was because he had already set a time.
Right.
So I'm not sure what's up with that, but that's going to be a pretty heavy penalty. That's not something we can really change. That's an unfortunate one, Flyer. So Flyboy will have to start from the back, which means Pacey's going to have extra pressure to try and get his McLaren higher up that grid order to compensate. Voice is good, just game audio. Okay, that I can actually play with. Let's just turn this up a little bit. See how we go. Hopefully that's a bit better for you guys. Disqualification if you sit in the actual exit. 5 seconds if you're further out. Okay, so he would have just been sitting in the exit a bit too long. Alright, we'll have to try and get his opinion on it later. 12 minutes 30 in the session. We'll jump on board with Mikau, who is now on his flying lap. Yet to set a time. The rain continues to fall as all of the drivers are out on their intermediate tyre, which is of course the faster tyre in these sessions, unless you've got torrential rain, in which case you do require the wets. Otherwise you get a lot of aquaplaning. Luckily for us in the virtual game, we don't have to sit behind a safety car for 2 laps and 4 hours. We can actually have a race and award proper points. Making his way through the second sector now. As Trin leaves the session. Yeah, interesting. Hopefully he'll come back. On the brakes here for Lepingel. The hairpin. This is one of those things where throttle control is super important. You're playing with cars that have 1,000+ brake horsepower on a wet track, and these things just want to light up. They're rear-wheel drive, massive tires, lots of torque. It's not easy, but if you get it right, it pays off. Here we go, through the wall of champions and across the line. What kind of time do we see? Mikau will set a 1:18.81. Good enough for 8th place at the moment.
So we got Bunning Snags in the chat asking what's a good lap time here in the dry. So yeah, like Ali said, if you can get into the 107s, that's a pretty rapid lap. Most people will be doing the 108s though. But yeah, 107s is what we'd expect in the dry from some of the top guys here.
Here we are on board with Pacey, who catches the slide. It's a bit of a risky one there.
Yeah, imagine most of these guys could be running dry setups. We are expecting a dry race, so apart from adjusting that front wing, I don't expect them to have a lot of stability in these wet conditions.
Sandeezy crosses the line for the fastest lap. Hero takes it immediately back. 1:17.5 now, the provisional pole, as Geordie set a 1:17.6 for Team Alpine. So he'll start second. I believe Geordie's on Alpine, if I've screwed that. Here's the problem. Okay, if you have 4 bloody teams that have blue as their colour, I think
this isn't even Codemaster's fault. These are the official F1 colours as well.
Admittedly, I was a little bit too heated there towards Codemaster. I apologise, but yes. So we have Williams, you have Red Bull, and then you have Alpine. So it's like Williams is medium blue, Red Bull is dark blue, and then Alpine is lighter blue. This is why it was better when you were Renault. Yellow. You can't screw that up.
Now, interestingly, Feeper's done 3 laps. He has yet to set a lap time. He's currently
So
sitting there in
invalidated?
19th place. He's just been invalidating. As there he goes. He goes fastest out of everyone. So obviously pushing the limits a little bit in the wet, but he's got it together finally and goes quickest by 3/10.
Speak of the devil, and he shall set a lap time. Fever with a 1:17.26 will now be our current provisional leader, as we have a Sector 3 yellow flag. It'll be one of the cars getting out of the way. Let's jump on board with one of the Aston Martins. Artanis, currently in 10th position, 1:18.4. His fastest lap time. He'll cross the line for a flying lap. We'll stay in the external view. We'll have an external lap of the circuit this time around. Seb in the chat, did you know that Ali is Al's brother? I did not. That's a cool factoid. There we go. For those of you who weren't aware, Ali is Big Al's brother. That was sarcasm, if that wasn't painfully obvious. It's actually one of my favorite commentary things ever. For those of you who are UFC fans, there's an absolute fantastic scene as Big Al goes fastest, a 1:17.145, where I think it's Goldberg is the guy's name. I can't remember the commentator, but he says he's basically explaining that one of the fighters has the white trunks and another fighter has the black trunks. And it just so happens that the black fighter has the black trunks and the white fighter has the white trunks. And Joe Rogan just says, or black guy this, white guy this. And the guy's like, that was said by Joe Rogan. Because, of course, you have to protect yourself at all times. We're not brothers anymore. Oh, well, there you go.
Oh, rough. So there was a yellow flag, and there's one popping up now. So there's the Ferrari Simdog was going around without a front wing. He's had a little bit of an accident in Sector 2, just at the start of the DRS straight. So he's limping back to the pits to get that nose cone replaced.
All right, 7 minutes, 40 seconds left in the qualifying session. We were on board with Artanis, but unfortunately he did invalidate, so he'll have to go around again. We'll jump on board with Sandisi, part of the Ferrari team, as he is preparing for a flying lap. Potsy on provisional pole, 1:17.075. Gus, do you expect anyone to break underneath that?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I think that it's starting to get a little bit drier out there. The rain certainly looks like it's eased off a bit, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see the time start to come down if the weather continues to ease. You've got Hero in the pits checking on the soft tyres. Very ambitious. I don't think it's nearly a drive chat.
I'm sorry,
yet.
Soft tyres? Oh, no.
He has gone back to the inters, so I think he might just be checking the delta time there to see how far off it is.
I was going to say, I was like...
Generally, if rain's falling from the sky, don't switch off the inters just yet.
All right, here we are. On board with Sandisi for Scuderia Ferrari as Panda sets the fastest time, and there is our question answered, a 1:16.7. Oh, as the Ferrari gets sideways. He's still going sideways. You might want to catch the back of that car. That's not going to do wonders for you. So Panda now on provisional pole. 6 minutes left in this session, so anyone's game at the moment. And you can see just how difficult it is to get the car under wraps. It's Canada's a relatively tricky circuit at the best of times. There's a lot of precision corners. But in the wet, whoa, he kept it out of the wall there. Great job. But all of this just means time is being bled. Time is being lost. Right now, his fastest is a 1:17.7. Can he improve on that? I don't. Oh, as he goes sideways again. What is up with those tires? They're fresh. There must not be temperature in them. Tyvader is a bit too gung-ho on the throttle. Here we go. Hard on the brakes into the chicane. Let's see. Don't invalidate. Keep it out of the wall. The grass is deadly there on that right side too, so you want to make sure you don't do that. He'll cross the line. That's a 1:17 flat. That is a 1:17 flat. So that is good enough for second place at the moment. Jeez, and he was sliding everywhere. And he still did a 1:17. There's some time in that Ferrari yet. There is some time in that Ferrari yet. All right. Let's jump on board with Hero. The prediction, will he get pole? Right now, currently 10th. Thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Thank you to everyone who is tuning in. Hope you're enjoying yourself. We should be in for a pretty awesome race. Oh, his hero has to back up. I think he's just waiting for gaps. Letting people get through. That's good. His teammate is ahead of him as well. Are they aiming to do a toe lap?
They're both on outlap, so they might just be trying to stay reasonably close to a little bit of a slipstream, but it's going to affect visibility if they're too close together, and probably cause a little bit of understeer as well in the corners.
All right, well, we'll have a look. 4 minutes left on that clock. Oh, there's a bunch of traffic. Will this affect the Williams? This might be a problem. The Aston Martin boys go off to the right, but did that affect Hero's time? We'll see. We'll monitor that Sector 1 timing. See if he's up or down. He's up on his time, so he did go faster. We'll see how that goes for the rest of the lap. Oh, you can see just how wet it is. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of rain falling, but everyone is having trouble keeping the grip down. A lot of sliding happening. You need very precise throttle control for this. And he's already invalidated, actually. I didn't even notice that. I saw the green. But that's an invalid lap, so he'll have to go again. Where did he invalidate that? Maybe turn 6? He used a lot of curb there, so I'm not sure if that was the case. In any case, another lap there is. Let's jump on board with Pondon from the Aston Martin team, whose teammate is currently 8th position with a 1:17.3. Pondon has done in a banker lap of a 1:19.9, but he'll be looking to improve that for sure. But let's see what kind of time he can do around the circuit. As Mikau, a 1:16.703. But he'll put AlphaTauri now on positional pole? Man, words. Provisional pole.
Yeah, he leads his teammate by just 35 thousandths of a second.
And for those of you at home who may be keen-eyed, you might notice some differences in the track as per last week. Hopefully there's small improvements that add just a little bit more immersion to the broadcast. But the majority you never notice anyway, so that's fine. My feelings aren't hurt. Ooh, Honda hard on the brakes there. Ended up with a lockup. And you can see having a short shift maintain the torque as Hero does cross the line and sets yet another faster slapper, 1:16.5. And with a minute... Sorry?
Yeah, should have enough time to do possibly 2 more laps if he's got enough fuel in the tank.
Here we go. Pondon will cross the line. And it's a 1:19.2, so it's an improvement, but still... Last on the... Well, 19th on the board. Flyboy did have the disqualification. Okay, so a minute left on that clock. Hero on provisional pole. Who of the 19 drivers left in this session can answer that? Those of you who have points on the line. What are the point totals up to now? I can't actually see them from my side.
The predictions are closed, so we'll see in just a moment. 33.4 thousand for yes, 22.8 thousand for no.
Okay.
So we'll pay those out at the close of the session.
Oh, is Honda spins
that was
and
in the
Mikau
pits.
retires from the session. So Mikau's happy with his as Hero goes faster again. A 1:16.453. So Mikau retires in the session. He's happy with the 1:16.7. As Potsy crosses the line there with a 1:16.5. Jump on board with Panda. Oh, massive lockup. That must have been 75 meters at least. Now,
Hero's matching his previous best at the moment in Sector 1.
Potty retires from the session there. So those two will not be able to improve further. Those are pretty blistering times. We'll see if anybody can beat them. Panda coming around the wall of champions now. All he's got to do is run it to the... Oh, it's invalidated anyway. Never mind. It was invalidated anyway. So here we are. Sandeezy for Team Ferrari. I don't think that's going to be an improvement either. It's a 1:17.023.
Hero purple in Sector 2.
God, I think he's the one that's going to beat his own time. Oh, but he's coming up to traffic. This might be a problem. No, he should get through clear. That was very, very wide on the corner, but it didn't invalidate. Touches the grass. Oh, someone's put it in the wall. That's Fever, but it doesn't prevent Hero from setting the time at 1:16.3. And I think with that, he has put the nail in the coffin for pole position. The only person that could beat him on track is Baitmate. I don't think that's going to happen. Nope, definitely not happening as Baitmate skids across the line. Let's go and have a quick look at that replay there. So, as you can see, Fever bang right in the wall and then debris flies everywhere. Not illegal from Hero. The red flag hadn't come out, so we're okay. All right, so that is the session done and dusted. And as predicted, Hero did get poles. So congratulations for those of you who bet in that way. You'll be getting a payout soon enough. Potsy there in second place, 2/10 behind. Mikau in third. Panda, Sandeezy, Artanis, Geordie, Fever, Simdogger, and Big Al will round out the top 10. It's actually very close, all the way down to 14th till you get outside that 1 second mark. An unfortunate session for Flyboy. He was disqualified because for waiting in the pit lane, but hopefully he'll have a better race. To my understanding, this will be a dry race. Is that correct?
That's what I'm hearing, yes, but it is approximate, so it could
Okay.
be some variety towards the end.
Okay, we'll have to have a look as it rolls around. To get ready for that, I might just have a look at... Ooh, okay. There we are, we're back in. Looks a lot better. Bit overcast, I think.
Got another prediction up for you all. So will Hero lead at the end of the first lap? So we do have that monstrously long straight for the final chicane. Will he be able to hold on to the lead?
That's going to be... Oh, so we're going with quick predictions. Look at this. Look at that. Bam, bam, bam. Oh. Yeah, we want you... We don't want you to have any points in your bank. Apparently, we want you to just have them all in prediction, which is fine. So, will Hero lead at the end of lap 1? That's interesting. Like you said, Casino Straight will be just a bit of a change for that, but we'll see. All right, so we're all loaded in. As you can see, we're out for the formation lap. It's the last chance for these guys to get some temperature in those tires and brakes. Make sure they're all up to racing spec. Hopefully none of them do a Perez. Actually, that would be... That's incorrect. Perez crashed before the formation lap. That's going to be one of the most ridiculous moments in Formula One history. You have a driver that crashes out before the formation lap, right? And still manages to get back into the race. His team literally said, no, we can't continue. And then they were like, the rain's too heavy. And then Red Bull goes, okay, actually, we can continue. And then there's back and forth. No, you can't continue. Where does it say that in the rules? Actually, that's a good point. Let me check. And then sure enough, Perez is back.
To be honest, I think that what Red Bull did at Hungary in last year, 2020, was a bigger achievement because they got that car ready without any delay at all.
No, yeah, there's no contest. What the Red Bull mechanics managed to do for Max Verstappen, there's actually a really good breakdown somewhere on YouTube of what they had to fix, but it was monumental. To fix that on the grid, like monumental. So yeah, a crazy achievement. Those dudes are just like, I think the best two, in terms of time, I think it's Red Bull and Williams. think Red Bull and Williams have the fastest
absolutely.
pit crew there.
Yeah, just want to call out, obviously everyone gets free choice of tyre because the qualifying was wet. Bieber,
right.
the only car in the top 10 to start on the medium tyres, everyone else on the softs. Outside the top 10, again, it looks about 50-50 with soft medium. So T-Mac, Wahid, Pacey and Flyboy opting for the mediums and everyone else on the soft tyre.
So it'll be a quick stint at the start. What are the tyres stint?
Expecting a 2-stop here, so probably soft, medium, soft. Could be some soft hard runners as well.
All right. 5 red lights. We've got to wait for them to turn off. We can get this underway. They're off, and away they go. Hero with a pretty decent start. Potsy alongside. And as of right now, it looks pretty clean. The Ferrari gets a pretty good shot on the inside line as well. And as we go through the grid, there's a little bit of bumping, but no major damage. It looks pretty clean. I say that as the Red Bull gets hit from the Williams, but he gets back online okay.
Pretty clean at the back as well. We do have Wahid put us on the side. Oh, yes, we've got Sid gone around at turn 4. Well, looks like he doesn't have any damage, but he's dropped off the back of Flyboy by about 5-10 seconds now.
So Sid drops down. You might have a look at that replay later on. Jumping on board with Big Al, who's in the middle of everything here. Nice long snake all the way down to turn 10. Big Al might even just try and jump the Aston Martin here. Looks on the inside. It's going to be a hard braking zone, though. You've got to really commit. He goes down deep and manages, I think he might have just pulled this off. Artanis has no choice but to let him go. And he's done it. Goes up into 7th place. And as it stands down towards the end of the first lap, Hero is still 1 second ahead. So for those of you who predicted, congratulations on the points. Oh, Sandizi takes a position from Panda. I think there might be an issue here with that Alpha Tauri as Geordie gets past. Oh, I think Big Al just got past as well. Oh, Geordie's offline.
Yeah, Panda squeezed him right out onto the runoff area there on the inside, and he's lost 2 positions to Big Al and Artanis. Big Al also getting the run on Panda. They're side by side going through turns 3 and 4. Oh, I don't know if he touched the sponsorship wall there. They're still side by side. It looks like Panda has held the position.
Jesus, 2 laps in and already things are developing. As Hero gets a 1.3 second gap to Mikal, so when DRS kicks in the next lap, Mikal will have to try and speed up to try and get past. Oh, as we see, Fever sneak in there past Simdogger. Now down in a 10th position. Trent looks like he's going to try and go up on the inside here as well. Oh, it's heavy braking. Almost bumps the Williams, but a good job there from the Red Bull not to do so. But the question is, will he actually be able to beat him down the line here? It's a pretty good drag race between these two. But it looks like the Red Bull might just inch ahead. Oh, I'm weary of those tyres. He'll let him go. Well done from the Red Bull. Spotty and Mika trade places. It looks like there's quite a bit of a battle happening here as Sandizi now wants to try and take this moment. He ended up having to let them go, though. There's just not enough room for 3 cars in that sector. So Mikau will stay ahead, but Potsy definitely ready at a moment's notice to take that position back. And as we see the gaps form, everyone fairly close together through here. Let's jump back a couple of positions. Big Al chasing down Panda. And it's always nice to see these long flowing trains. Not necessarily when they're a DRS train, that's always kind of boring, but there's always moments to be had here as they come through the hairpin.
Yeah, interesting that the back Sid's been able to catch up to the back of Wahid, so almost everyone within a second of DRS of each other.
Here we go. Big Al will pass Panda with ease. Artanis might even be able to do the same, but not before the wall. Big Al moves up into 5th. Good showing there from one half of the Mercedes team. Unfortunately, T-Mac down in 13th place, so hopefully he'll be able to climb back up. Let's jump way back down in the standings. 14th place here, the team Haas, Batemate, chasing the Mercedes. As we can see Pacey there in 15th. So nothing major so far. Sid did have a spin, but don't think he had any serious damage.
Yeah, it looks like his rear tyres are a little bit cooked. I saw him come through the chicane at the Wall of Champions, and he nearly lost the rear, but he's right on the back of Wahid now for 19th position.
The Simdog going way. Ooh, Steamac. It's a little slippy. Coming out of the hairpin. This is one of his back straight. One of the best places to catch up to the car ahead as Simdogger takes a 3-second time penalty from the stewards of race control. And this is one of those things. Canada is notorious for penalties. So apparently a 0% safety car chance, but everybody's getting time added to the end of their race. They have to be very, very careful. It's very easy to cut, especially on the chicane.
Sid's been able to get through both Flyboy and Wahid in the space of a couple of corners. Now back up to 18th and in DRS range of Pond now.
Fever closing in on Geordie there for 8th place, but just lost it. Coming out of turn 7. See if he can punch harder now through this back sector. Looks like the majority of drivers are actually locking up that front right in towards the chicane. The more load as you're turning in. It's one of the things you can't... you have to take into account is you don't want to be braking and turning. Sometimes it does just catch you out. They go through there. There's not a lot of space between the ripple strip and the wall there. So interesting to see if that takes a victim this race.
Simdogger, first driver to come into the pits, is getting his tyres changed from softs onto mediums. No front wing change, so it looks like he's just trying to go for a bit of an undercut there.
As we have a yellow flag in Sector 1 and a crash.
Staying with me, so we'll try and get back into the game ASAP. I think that's a full safety car.
We'll have to have a look when we come back in, but why? Why does the game do that?
It actually happened in Tier 3 as well. Both the spectators crashed at the same time when it went from virtual safety car to safety car. So it seems to be a bit of a bug in the game where it changes its mind about what type of safety car it's going to have.
What a weird bug.
It's a very weird bug.
Every time there's a safety car, it just breaks. All right. Hopefully we can get back in relatively quickly. What I'm going to have to do is monitor the sound because that seems to be a problem when I restart. So hopefully not an issue. That sound seems fine. And as we have the wonderful menu sounds, lobby sounds of the game. Alrighty, be able to get back in. Apologies for the difficulties. Very, very frustrating. I don't think this ever happened to me in 2020. I don't think it ever happened. And people in chat saying that Pondon has a puncture. Is that correct?
Just coming to the pits when that safety car got called out, so...
Oh, okay. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Of course, the timing screen will have to be reset for us. Quickly make sure. The Fever now in the lead of this race. As he is, you can see the queue forming behind the CrowdStrike safety car. So a safety car was called, but we still have 20 drivers in this race. So who caused
it? Looks like I think Smitty had an incident in Sector 1. I was on board with him at the time when the safety car came out, so I think he may have had a spin in that section between turns 4 and 7.
Okay.
But not certain. He was getting his front wing replaced though when you rejoined, so I suspect that's probably what's happened.
All right. Well, lap 8 of 35, and there is our first safety car, but will it be our only safety car? Question will be answered at some point. I doubt it. I think we'll see another one, especially with restarts here are whack because you can't fit. Generally, you're going to have the leader gunning it before the chicane. Oh, as Geordie picks up a 3-second time penalty behind safety car.
Yeah, he's trying to close that gap to Smitty. Not sure why Geordie's so far down the order. He was quite up there battling for the top 5 or 10 positions. So I wonder if he's run into a bit of trouble as well before that safety car's come out.
As we're waiting for the safety car to finalise. It's coming in this lap, so we'll quickly have a look at this replay. So as they come through...
Oh, Artanis has had a spin. He's spun, Artanis. He's had a spin coming out of the chicane on the back straight. And he has dropped from the top 10 all the way down to dead last. Must have been the cold mediums that he's on. And
he's lost an end plate as well. He's lost the front right end plate.
And he'll probably come straight into the pits then when the safety car peels in.
Well, here we are on board with Fee, and he's gone. I don't even get a chance. Fever's not wasting any time. Hard on that accelerator pedal. And they'll go through as we go down through the yours. Why he goes May White. Combined YouTuber picks up a 3-second time penalty through there. Big Al is going to try and take the outside line to Flyboy, and he makes it done. Ooh, great job there from the Mercedes. Ascend easy. Might actually look to do the same around turn 2. Mick Al and Wahid trade places for a moment. And the restart seems relatively clean, outside of Artanis, of course, who did have a spin. Flyboy trading places with Trin. Panda goes up from Sindogger, and Hero overtakes Pacey for second place. Well, there's action happening everywhere. Trying to keep an eye on everything as Wahid loses a position there as well. Everything is happening. Great Mate takes a 3-second time penalty.
T-Mac making a move on combined, heading into the hairpin as well. Oh, and there's been a bit of a concertina. Smitty going for a little bit of a move on Pondon right as part. Artanis was pulling out, and yes, Pondon's got spun around to the hairpin. Smitty's backed right out of it. Looks like he's trying to yield the position back to Pondon. That's that yellow flag there. We'll see in Sector 3. And Smitty does yield that position back to Pondon, but he's lost a fair chunk of time. And his teammate Artanis 20 seconds behind after pitting with the safety car to get that wing replaced.
Here's that safety car restart. Introducing a lot of chaos. Tons of places switched over as T-Mac will take the position from Fly. Ooh, yep, on the outside. So not only did Flyboy get disqualified in the qualifying session, but now he's having a very rough time here on this restart. Sandeezy, the 3-second time penalty there, 4 multiple warnings. Everybody's getting penalties. As was about expected. Mick out here, very, very close. Looks like he just made the overtake on Pacey. Coming into turn 8. And I think Big Al might just get it done as well. Hard on the inside. As Smitty retires from the session.
Yeah, he's crashed just on the DRS straight. We've got another safety car. Just having a look on board. Yeah, looks like he's lost it coming out just in that DRS zone there. He's absolutely lost the front right of the car. So I'd say he's probably been spat off the exit curb on the outside. I think that's turn 8 there. And he's bounced off the wall as well. So he's done for the race, the first retirement.
Okay. Well, the question was answered. No, it will not be the only safety car of the session. We are now at 2.
I had a prediction up and it hadn't ended by the time the next safety car came out, so I had to quickly end the prediction submissions because the results were getting skewed very quickly there.
Oh, that's an easy win. Here we are. So FIBA yet again queued up behind the prediction result is yes. So FIBA now queued up behind the wonderful Mercedes safety car. When are we going to get love for the Aston Martin safety car? Come on now. There's 2 of them. Be nice. So we are now down to 19 drivers in this race. Lap 11 of 35. Still got a bunch more laps to go. And now we have to see whether or not the chaos happens again, because these safety car restarts, they allow for a lot of drafting.
And here as well, like, do the medium runners who started pit now, they've been on them for 10 laps, is now the time to come in?
They'll want to make a decision quickly, because this safety car does leave it quite late to tell us if it's coming in or not. Now, obviously, I would not expect it to come in now. I would expect it to make that turn. So now would be the time to come in. You'll lose less, like the least amount of time. You'll come in, you'll pit, and you'll be able to punch it all the way around and most likely catch up the queue again. But nobody decided to go into pits from what I can see. Everyone's made the turn, so they're staying out. So that means this has just gone from a 0% safety car chance to 50%. Oh no, hold on. Because you take it, it's the aggregate of all the races average.
Yeah, it's per race that we see a safety car.
So how many races have we had now? We have 7 seasons.
So this is number 7
races.
for Tier 1.
That's... Oh, I don't have math skills for this.
1/7. What's that? It's about 12, 14%?
So 20% would be 5.
14%, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
14-ish.
Aha! Yes. You never... Here at AFR, we don't fail.
Quick maths.
Comes to quick math. 2 plus 2 is 4. Minus 1, that's 3. Quick maths. Again, just like to take a moment to thank everyone who is tuning with us. For those of you who are following, very much appreciated. There we are. Confirmation from race control safety car will be in this lap and the lights are out. So now, as before, it is up to FIBA to determine when to go. Now, obviously, you don't want to go too early, otherwise you'll overtake the safety car and that's going to cause problems. So FIBA will look to just warm up the tyres. His teammate is behind him. So I can only imagine their engineers, if they've got an engineer, would be getting them to coordinate. We'll just have a look as to when he takes off. Now, this could be a problem because if people don't pay attention, you're going to see issues. People are going to bump into each other. It's one of those things where it just seems to be very easy to do here. So hopefully everyone done the right thing. And there we go. FIBA decides to give it the beans. And we are away. We'll go through the grid as they come through the chicane. As Pacey ended up cutting that corner. Oh, Simdog are getting a little bit... Panda getting a little bit sideways, but everything seems to be okay on his end. And as it stands, everyone came through okay. Simdog here in 9th place. His teammate picks up a penalty for multiple warnings. A bunch of positions being changed. Flyboy lost out very heavily there. He's done it again.
He has, yeah. Can't see if he's got any wing damage, but he's going very slowly there through the twisty section of Sector 1. And he's getting passed by Tannis.
Let's just have a quick look at the penalties there. So 3 seconds across the board for some. And if we have a look at the position changes, Pacey's the big change. 12 positions up so far, currently in 6th place. Sandizi and Artanis with the big losses at pace.
Wahid nearly ran into the back of Pondon there at the chicane.
Oh, we've got a Sector 3, and it looks like it's one of the... that's interesting. That's a Flyboy
pull up in the pits. Wahid had to take to the escape road because he got caught out by Pondon there braking for the chicane. I don't think there was any contact, but he had to cut the corner to make sure he'd get through safely.
Flyboy switching onto those soft tyres. As Panda and Pacey trade places. And Simdog is looking for a chance on Trin as well. 8th place. See if we can actually get him down this back straight. I don't think so. DRS won't be enabled for a couple laps from now. And this is where the uncertainty comes as everyone is within. Oh, he picked up another penalty. Hendogger just taking a little bit too wide through that chicane, and DRS is enabled now.
Well, combined with Sandesi having shocky exits out of the Wall of Champions, and Artana's getting a great run on them. Pass combined, and he's having a go at Sandesi now.
At 15 to 35, 20 laps to go. Bieber leading this race, but the margin is slim. His teammate, as I say that, overtakes him. Going into turn 8.
What do we reckon? Did he let him through, or was that a legitimate pass?
I'm not sure, but Potsy is looking to take the position. He goes on the outside. However, Fieber placing the car well in the center of the track. However, the exit might be better for the Red Bull. They'll both have DRS, but the question is who'll have the better speed? Fieber holding the inside line. He'll overtake his teammate, but where will Hero end up? This might not end up well. He'll back up enough to allow his teammate to retain.
I think Hero grazed the wall there. He's not got any wing damage that I can see, but he's definitely under the pressure now. And Podsy's come to this battle for the position lead.
There's technically 5 cars in this because Macau and Big Al are also close enough, as Pacey will overtake Trin there for 7th place.
We bogged down a little bit on the exit, and Trin got him around the outside.
So I wonder if Fever's going to be playing full-back defense. Oh, as Potsy might even go to the grass for this overtake. Decides to play it safe. See, Fever!
Fever nearly lost the rear. Has lost the rear. Fever's round. He's pointed the wrong way. He's trying to do a flick turn in front of the traffic. Very lucky to avoid a collision there with the oncoming traffic, and he's dropped all the way down to 14th position.
That did not.
He saw him in the middle of the chicane there, and he had a snap of oversteer, which he caught, but then just a correction on the exit. We've got a Ferrari. Simdog has gone deep at the hairpin. Fever all the way down in 13th position now.
So, not sure if that's what we expected, but unfortunately Fever couldn't hold that defense. He went on the inside and went back out, and it just looked like he missed his brake marker, ended up going way too deep, and lost out. So Potsy got a free position there. Well, I'll just have a look at the quick replay. So as you can see, Potsy trying to go up on the inside there, and he just, goes way too deep, loses the back a bit, and then, just on the curb, bang! Flies around there. Unfortunate for the Williams. So Hero will no longer have a defensive blocker for him, and he's going to have to do extra work to maintain first place.
So just a penalty check. So Pacey, Sid, T-Mac, Geordie combined, and Sandesi all have 3-second penalties. Batemate and Simdogger have 6-second penalties.
There they are on your screen. As we look at the stops there. Everyone on one stop. Sandesi with 3 stops. Artanis with 2.
A little bit of battle here for P7. Pacey, Sid, and Geordie through the hairpin, and T-Mac as well is just on the tail of this little battle pack we've got.
Sid will look to go on the left side, as you can see. Now for Ameo there. Here we are from Geordie's perspective as they come through the chicane. So right now all pretty peaceful, but I'm assuming Pacey's going to try and attack through the second sector as the DRS zone opens. Geordie's doing really, really well on these exits. He might even have a better run. Oh, except that did not work out well for him. I think a little bit too much brakes, but we'll see. Oh, the Mercedes is round! And that's T-Mac. It's T-Mac in the wall.
Had a little bit of a break, so he's able to get the flick turn done with only losing a couple of positions, but he's now 5 seconds off the back of Pondon now.
Let's have a look at that again. You can just see there he is, and he just spins it round. Luckily, he didn't hit anybody. Just puts it into the wall there. So minimal damage, if any. I don't think he's missing an end plate or anything. He's not. So, but that's painful there. All the way down to 16th position. That's why he gains a position there for 13th. Trin lost one to Sid. battle.
Sid all the way up P6 after spinning to dead last in the grid at the start of the race. Great result from him so far.
Ooh, as Miguel picks up a 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, first person in the top 5 to pick up a penalty, so going to hurt him a little bit.
Oof, 109.95. Back there.
I think that was quicker than my quali time in Tier 3.
So Hero still in the lead of this race, but only by 5/10. Potsy managing to keep close. Big Al's gap has extended way past that 1 second mark, so no DRS for him in the next couple of laps. We'll see if he can close that up, but Mikau is holding steadfast as well. And this little battle here around 7th place is definitely extended. But Artanis looked for a poke there. Just wondering if he thought against it as he did spin last time around. So again, looking at these positions, AC still Profiteer, 9 positions there. Sandeezy losing 14.
Yeah, Sandeezy had a bit of a spin on the exit of the hairpin a couple of laps ago. Had to pit for a new front wing.
We jump up to the leader battle here as Potsy's getting awfully close as Panda picks up a 3-second time penalty there. God, the steward's just Oprah today. Giving out time penalties left and right. Now DRS is enabled, so Potsy will have a pretty decent speed boost coming down here. It'd be good for at least 15-20 Ks. So Hira's going to stay relatively center. This is always really risky because to try and take this on the inside, actually I think Hira just went into the pits. He did. Okay.
He did, so did Big Al. And Panda as well. So Potsy and Mikau staying out. Trin coming in as well.
Okay, we got a ton of people in the pit lane now. All those guys running the mediums. We'll start to see where affect them. Pacey on 20 laps. He's definitely going to feel it. As you can see, the car start to slide out there. Well held.
So Hero's come out of the pits in P9 just in front of Combined YouTuber. So he's got a couple of second gap to Wahid in P8. But he was very lucky to come out where he did. He would have been behind a bit of traffic there. We've got Big Al fed out into P12 behind Combined and Bondon.
Pacey might have a bit more trouble than he asked for. It seems that his tyres aren't giving him the grip that he wants. All of these corner exits, the back as he picks up a 3-second time penalty, which is confirming my suspicion. He'll have to come in soon. I would be surprised if he didn't. They're just not holding on. He's getting, look at that. He's just getting sideways each and every time he places that throttle down. Tannis is going to get past with no problems at all. I wouldn't be surprised if Batemate did as well. Yep. You'll see the Haas go to the right of the McLaren now. And I'm going to assume Pacey will come in. No, the other two come in. As Tannis unfortunately doing in the pits.
Penalty.
Pacey will stay out, and by doing so, will take effective lead of this race. It's an interesting decision to go out.
I think he's hoping for another safety car. As you see Ponton and Combined going side by side into turn 1.
He's just sliding everywhere.
Oh, Mikau's coming out of the pits alongside Combined. Just manages to get in front of him, so he's in a bit of clean air there. I think he has been undercut, though, from Big Al, who's 1.5 seconds in front of him.
So Big Al on that 1 lap. Potsy coming out in 4th position as Panda right up on the inside. Oh, Spawning gets a bit sideways as well. So good job there from the Alpha Tauri. Both of them in good positions at the moment.
I suspect, Pacey's waiting for a safety car. He's been out on those mediums for 21 laps. One stop is not going to be very viable unless, he gets a lucky safety car here. 13 laps is going to be a long time to try and stretch the softs if that's his plan.
Big Al with the overtake. He'll probably go to the left side of this Alpine. Oh, sorry, no, onto the right. Oh, there'll be a little bit of a squeeze, but this is quite close for this chicane. Seeing Big Al, he took that chance, but he picked up a 3-second time penalty for it, and that's what I kept saying. You have to be very, very careful going in there, because is it worth you'll take a position, but then you'll get a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting, and I'm assuming the majority of you guys have warnings.
God, Sid, and Who's that? Sid and T-Mac. T-Mac is out. They've had a collision on the pit straight coming out of the Wall of Champions, and there is a full safety car. That has saved Pacey's strategy there.
Oh my god, that is a very, very heavy accident. I wanted to try and see it from another, but they had to go into the pit lane. So we won't be able to see that. However, it was very, very heavy. The front end was gone. The wheel was folded over. And yet again, so that's 3 safety cars now. And as you said, Gus, Pacey will be cheering. And if he doesn't come in, I don't know what's up.
What's he going to do, though? I don't think he's stopped yet in this race. Let me have a quick look. No, he hasn't stopped yet. So he can put on the softs, but can he stretch them for 12 laps? I know they can do 10 at a stretch. Maybe being on the safety car for a couple of laps will help them make the distance, but he's going to be struggling for pace at the very end of the race, but you never know. Yep, here he comes. Okay.
Who else would come in at the moment? Maybe Wahid?
I think Wahid will come in, so will Pondon, especially if they haven't... if they started on the softs, I think they'll pit again, chuck on a set of mediums to the end. There we go, we see Wahid, Big Al, Pondon, Fever coming in.
Oh, gee! Oh, that's a risky release. The Mercedes went straight into the Aston Martin there, but luckily no collisions in pit lane.
Yeah, so Pacey, Big Al, Wahid, Pondon, all onto the soft tyre. Fever, soft tyre as well. So they reckon the softs will last the distance from here. Pacey comes out in P7. That's a great effort from him after where he qualified down in 17th. And he's going to be on fresher rubber and faster rubber than the 6 cars in front of him. He does have 6 seconds worth of penalties though, so he will be dropping positions a little bit. But he'll be putting a lot of pressure on Trin and Hero and Potsy, who haven't picked up any penalties yet. But with a very quick McLaren coming up behind him, they might just feel the pressure a little bit.
So yet another channel prediction there. Will Fever get on the podium? From what I can see here, it's 100 points to 6k. So I'm assuming people are really not expecting Fever to make it back through here. He's in 14th at the moment. Fresh softs, but yeah, that's a big ask. Let's see. So Pacey, Big Al, Wahid, Pondon, Fever, Artanis, and Sid all on fresh rubber.
I think Fever had a better chance of getting on the podium if there wasn't that safety car. He was showing a lot of pace compared to everyone around him. He put in the fastest lap before I think Big Al cut the final chicane. But yeah, that safety car, it's going to hurt him a little bit with the guys in front on the fresh softs as well. So he might be able to get back into the points now, but yeah, podium's looking unlikely from here.
Well, we will see. 10 laps left in this race. We are still behind safety car, but considering where the queue is now, it will most likely come in this lap. For all of you who are still watching, thank you very much. And for all of you that are following, thank you. That is much appreciated. We hope you enjoy your stay here at AFR as we try and bring you the best Formula One content from the Australian and New Zealand region. As everyone just trying to keep those temperatures up. You do not want to be running here with cold tyres. Nobody likes cold tyres. So we are now down to 18 drivers. Getting out early on, and T-Mac out then. Called in the safety car. It was a big hit, dude. Absolutely wrecked the front end of the car. Also,
yeah, we see the footage after the race because they were pretty far down the pit straight for that collision. So,
and also for those of you who are Formula One fans in real life, we have Zandvoort tonight. Very, very excited. It seems like it's a very insane track, as the drivers are saying. It's insane to watch, and very interesting to see if anybody tries a move on the banking. I think that's death, but these guys are crazy. Here we go. Hero will restart this race. And as of right now, it looks pretty good as they all make their way through the chicane. Seems pretty clean. I say that as Sandeezy picks up a 3-second time penalty. We're on board with Pacey, who decided to take that long stab at strategy. Will this pay off for him? Will those softs give him the performance edge he wants?
Oh, there's been a collision between Flyboy and Sound Easy at the back. Flyboy squeezed the Ferrari into the wall just at the start of the DRS straight, and they got stuck together, both of them with wing damage now.
Simdogger and Baitmate side by side as they come into the hairpin. Simdogger with just a bit of an edge. Baitmate will give up the position. Oh, but I don't think he'll give up the position easily enough. They're still drag racing all the way down to the chicane. He's used all of his deployment for the lap. And on the restart, Potsy will set the fastest lap at 109.7. Well, Fever takes it back, 109.4. Fever will need at least one more position to get the benefit of the extra point. But he is flying. Oh. And as I say that, picks up yet another 3-second time penalty as Fever tries to go up on the inside of Baitmate here. Won't work. Oh, just makes it past. Now in the top 10. Just jump up to the lead here as Hero with Potty close behind. 3/10 in it. More ERS in the Williams at the moment. But Potty will be banking on the DRS coming back online. And then this is where, as this progresses closer and closer and closer to the end, do you want to be ahead at lap 35? Because I'm not sure if that's a good idea. We've seen that happen in Abu Dhabi, and it sucks because you stay ahead, and then in that second DRS zone, they just overtake you, and that's it. They've taken the win. So
bit of a collision between Sid and Artanis there between turns 2 and 3. Artanis did well to keep it out of the wall. No wing damage, but he's lost a fair chunk of time to Sid.
Going back a couple of positions now. Pacey looks like he got a really poor exit coming out of turn 8. Big Al will take 7th place from him. But then again, as they come into the hairpin, I think the McLaren's just squeezed him out here. Oh, is it going to work? This is going to be a pretty insane drag race. I think the Mercedes might just squeeze him out, though. Oh, I don't know. It's going to be all the way down to the chicane. Oh, and he's had to give up. Pacey will fall back to 8th. And Big Al will take it. Oh, Fever now coming in. Inside of turn 1. Oh, he forced him out. Oh, Pacey's had to go. Oh, and he comes back online and Fever's spun and the end plate's gone as well. That might have to get looked at. That was an interesting development. We'll have a quick look again. So
Brave Simplega had to cut the chicane at turns 3 and 4. He's got wing damage.
You can see it there. Fever sort of pushed Pacey offline and then he joins back onto the circuit. Fever ends up spinning, hitting the side of the McLaren, loses the end plate. That's going to be an interesting one. Oh my god, penalties are flying left and right. Zartanis picks up 3-second one. Let's have a quick penalty update here. Simdogger on 9 seconds, Sand Easy and Baitmate on 6, and then a variety of drivers all on 3. However, Hero and Potsy both clean.
So Fever peeling off into the pits, so he's out of the points now. Got Combined and Pontoon side by side on the pit straight. Sid having a good look at them all. They bang tyres. Still going side by side through turn 2. Sid pushing his teammate up the hill.
Look here at the battle for the lead. It is as close as anything. Potsy with DRS. But I don't think he'll make the move into turn 8. I don't think it's worth it. Takes it easy now. Both of these guys are going worse.
Oh, Sid hit the back of his teammate at the start of the DRS straight in sector 2, and he's dropped to 14th.
Bad news for Alfa Romeo. Here we go, the Red Bull's wing open. Just look at the speed difference, but not enough to catch him. He chooses not to use any ERS as well. Plenty of laps still left in this race, but he's got to be careful. There's been a couple of times there where Potty has lost that back end. As he goes into turn 1, he'll take the outside line. It's not better for the first turn, but it is much better for the second. As he'll try and keep it as much as possible. Potty still technically in the lead. Oh, as they go out, Hero's not going to let this up. He'll take a very sharp turn. Expect to see this battle the entire 4 laps that we have left. And I think with all this battling, Mikau and Panda might even be in it as well.
I know, I was going to do a prediction for who you think's going to win, but it could be 4 or 5 people at this rate.
Hero is very, very close. But do not count out these AlphaTauris because they'll have teamwork on their side. If Hero and Potty keep fighting the way they are, expect to see Mikau and Panda in the mix, combined YouTuber, with a 3-second time penalty. Right now, it's just a game of bingo of who has penalties and who doesn't. Because there's 5 drivers without them. Oh my god, Hero is all over the back of Potty here with the DRS on the straight. He'll take the line into turn 1. As we have a Sector 2, Sector 3 yellow flag. I think it's one of the Ferraris in the wall. There it is. It's sound easy.
No, it's the McLaren of Pacey. He's pointing the wrong way. It's like he may have spun off the Wall of Champions exit curb.
Well, then that's 2 because Sandeezy was just crashed outside of turn 9. Well, that's 2 cars round. And like I said, Hero has taken the first place at the moment as FIBA takes the fastest lap at 1:08.4. But Panda and Mikau are slowly but surely closing in on the leaders. 5 tenths for Mikau, 4 tenths behind is Panda.
Got a Mercedes round. That's Big Al. Big Al's pointing the wrong way. Looks like he's had a little bit of a spin on the exit of the chicane on the back straight. And he's dropped out of the points.
An upset for Team Mercedes as one of their drivers is already out, and Big Al dropping down in the points. Oh, well, now he's in 12th, so as it stands, they won't get any for this race. As Jordan picks up a 3-second time penalty again, and Potsy is looking for the overtake. Lap 33 of 35, 2 laps to go in this race. And it is still any one of these guys ahead. Hero leading at the moment. Potsy close behind. But as previously, the AlphaTauris are closing. Mikau is losing a bunch of time at the moment, though. So I wonder if he'll let his teammate go past, as it seems Panda is the faster car.
Yeah, top 4 all within DRS range of each other. Geordie trying to hang on, but he's 2.5 seconds behind. Trin kind of in no man's land at the moment, 3 seconds behind Geordie and 1.5 seconds clear of Batemate. But all of them might be a bit vulnerable to Wahid, who's sitting there in P8.
Potsy just touched the back of the Williams there, went a little sideways, and through all of this chaos, I didn't even notice that Mikau and Panda both have penalties, so unless they get ahead and then some, they can't win this race. They might win on track, but they definitely won't win after time adjusted.
Yeah, Wahid and Pondon both in the top 10 with no penalties, so I expect them to have a bit of movement after the race. We've got 2 laps to go, and it's still anyone's game.
The lap's winding down. Hero still holding on, but Potsy is smelling the fumes from the back of that car. He will not want to let go of this. These guys will be driving at their absolute limit to hold on. And looking at that tyre wear, they'll be pretty even. The DRS will be in the Red Bull's favour. But the Williams does have much more reserve in the ERS. She'll be able to use to his advantage for defending. Or lock up there from the Red Bull. It's going to be very careful. You don't want to overwear those tyres. You're going to need them to make this attack.
Oh, Feber's out. Feber's out. He's crashed on the back straight. I'm not sure if there was contact with one of the other cars in front of him, Sid or Pacey. He's in the middle of the track. There's debris all over the place.
Hopefully that'll get cleared out. No safety car has been called. I can see car is now off the track. Oh, his Hero takes a bit of a slide. And it's the last lap now. And there's 6/10 in the gap. Hero's going to have to pull some serious driving to catch that up because that Red Bull is out of here. And there's only a couple of zones to go. I'm not sure if the Williams can make this up. There might be some serious trouble for Hero here. Potty has no ERS left in that tank, but the gap is 7/10. Even coming out of the hairpin, unless he gets a perfect exit, I'm not sure if he can catch him by the chicane. That's a monster gap. I don't see it happening. I think Potty's just won this. I might just eat my words here. This is going to have to be an incredible dive for this to work. I don't see it happening. Hero, does he get a better exit? No, Potsy sticks it through the chicane, and the Red Bull will take the win here at Montreal.
Oh, it was just 56 thousandths of a second at the end. Hero had a better exit, managed to close the gap a little bit, but just not quite close enough on that final lap.
As we see the rest of the drivers funnel in, time adjusted, a bunch of people have jumped, so Mikau will take third, Panda will take fourth, Geordie in fifth, Wahid in sixth. That's interesting, AlphaTauri and Alpine both crossing 1-2, well, not 1-2, but together. Trent in 8th place, Pondon coming up in 9th. Baitmate will take P10. But my God, Potsy just rocketed away at the end there. And unfortunate for Hero, he just was too far back. The DRS could not save him there.
Big Al had a massive crash on that lap as well. So in Sector 1, I don't know what happened, but he was missing his entire front wing and it was blocking the track as well. So a few drivers coming through, lucky not to get punctures. He dropped all the way down to 16th.
That's a great drive from the Red Bull there. He should be pleased. It was a very good finish. Again, very unfortunate for Hero. There we go, driver of the day, Wahid. And, it's so unfortunate because it was such a good drive, but yeah, that mistake, that slide just cost Hero just too much time, and Potsy takes it. I know it would have been completely unsportsmanlike, but if Hero had sent it in that chicane, oof. That would have been something.
Yeah, AlphaTauri won too, then I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah, well, if they took each other out, yeah, 100%. 100%. So there we are. There is your race. And Potsy will take the grand honour of victor. Hero in second place by, again, 0.05 of a second. There's almost nothing in it. A great drive from both of those guys. Mikau and Panda, third and fourth. Great points for AlphaTauri. Great points for Alpine, who are fifth and sixth. Artanis coming out in seventh for Aston Martin. Trin, the other Red Bull, in 8th position. Pondon in 9th, and Baitmate will round out that top 10. An unfortunate race for Smitty and T-Mac, both with the DNF, and Flyboy as well, who got disqualified in qualifying and then had a very, very rough race, but he goes up into 14th, and who finishes next to his teammate as well in 13th. All right, guys, don't go anywhere, as Tier 2 is just around the corner, but from us, that is all. I've been Kuno Zero. This has been Gus Rules. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we will catch you on the next one. Goodbye for now.
See you later.
You just walk right out the door. Don't want to do this anymore. Now I'm lost without you. You drive me crazy out my mind. How'd you do this every time? Now I'm lost without you. Used to be the one I talk to when I'm sad. Can't you see now tainted love is all we have? Our issues run so deep, now when I try to sleep I feel so bad. I should leave, and by the time it's done I'll be gone. tainted love is all we had. Our issues run so deep, now when I try to sleep, I feel so bad. I should leave, and by the time it's done, I'll be
The year is 1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony, until one day a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.